Okay, today I'm just going to be talking about case citation. So this is basically how cases are listed. So just to clarify some of the key terminology, a case is just simply a legal dispute before a court for resolution. Now, citation is just the legal name of a case. Now, the legal name of the case is put on a cause list, and you can see this when we go to court. You might have seen me looking at a cause list before I take you around, or you can see, or it's printed in the newspaper every day. You can see the cases listed in the different courts. Now, what we just want to have an understanding of how citations actually work. So I'm just going to take you through the criminal citations and the civil citations. So in the magistrates court, in its criminal jurisdiction, hears less serious offences. And one thing you'll notice that there's a police officer, or the two parties of the dispute, one of them is in a police uniform. Now, in a criminal case, the police person that you'll see is the police prosecutor, and there's always someone else to the dispute, and West in this case would be the defendant. So West would be the last name of the person that's been charged with the criminal offence. So it's listed as police versus West, but their legal titles, the police would be the prosecutor and West would be the defendant or the accused. In more serious cases, so you can see the photo in the top right hand corner, that's the Sir Samuel Way building. The citation for more serious cases would be DPP, which simply stands for the Director of Public Prosecutions, or R, and R stands for Regina, which is the Latin term for Queen. It comes from that old idea that that if you committed a crime, this is before we had parliaments, that you're actually committing that against the Queen because they were, or the King because they were in total control. West is the defendant, so he's the person that has been charged with the offence. So that's what you see in more serious, so murder cases, for example, be listed as DPP or R versus West. Now, obviously, people can appeal. So, for example, if West was found guilty and he appeals, the case would be heard in the South Australian Court of Criminal Appeal, and West would be what's called the appellant, that's his legal title, and the DPP becomes the respondent. So that's criminal cases. For civil cases, citation or the legal titles of the parties change. So remember, in a civil case, it's a dispute between two private legal entities, and Green in this case is the plaintiff. So he is the one that is taking ABC Limited to court. It might be the ABC News that said something about Green. He's unhappy about that. He feels that he's been defamed, and he is taking ABC to court. And ABC becomes the defendant. Now, like in criminal cases, in civil cases, the ABC, who was the defendant, can appeal. And the ABC would become, or the legal titles become the appellant, and Green would become the respondent. Now, for High Court citations, so these are constitutional disputes when the High Court sits in its original jurisdiction. The citation would be whoever, so in this case it's South Australia, and the Commonwealth is the other party in the dispute. So it might be over South Australia has felt the Commonwealth has made laws that are outside the Constitution, that aren't in line with the Constitution. South Australia is challenging that, and South Australia becomes the applicant, and the Commonwealth becomes the respondent. So I hope that makes sense. That's just a range of different court citations in criminal and and civil cases, but also in the High Court of Australia.